The arena feels wrong, not loud, though the noise is there, rolling and constant, but dense, as if the air itself has weight. 15,000 people packed into Madison Square Garden, breathing in unison, turning anticipation into something solid. Something you could choke on if you weren't careful. Muhammad Ali notices it the moment he steps through the curtain. The lights hit him first, harsh, white, unforgiving. They flatten everything beneath them, strip color from faces, turn the ring into an island surrounded by shadow. Somewhere in the distance, people are chanting his name, some cheering, some booing, some doing both at the same time. Ali doesn't react. He walks toward the ring slowly, deliberately. His robe hangs open, white fabric moving gently with each step. His gloves are already on. Red leather, tight around his hands, familiar weight, familiar pressure. This part is supposed to feel automatic. Usually it does, but tonight something is off. It's subtle, too subtle for anyone else to see. A fraction of hesitation before his foot hits the canvas. A half-beat delay in his breathing, the kind of thing only a man who knows his own body better than anyone alive would notice. Ali notices. He climbs through the ropes. The canvas gives slightly under his weight. He rolls his shoulders once, twice. Listens to the sound of the crowd wash over him, lets it pass through instead of into him. Across the ring, Joe Frazier is already there. Shorter, stockier, built like something compact and dangerous. Frazier doesn't pace, doesn't bounce. He stands still, elbows tucked in, eyes forward. Watching, waiting. Frazier looks ready. Ali should feel confident. He's talked for months. Rhymes, predictions, certainty delivered with a smile and perfect timing. He's supposed to be loose, playful, untouchable. But as he lowers himself onto the wooden stool in his corner, Ali realizes his mind isn't where it should be. Angelo Dundee leans in. Close, too close for cameras to catch everything. "Relax," Angelo says quietly. "You've done this 1,000 times." Ali nods. The nod is real. The belief behind it is not. The sounds blur together, the crowd, the announcer, the shuffle of feet at ringside. Ali stares straight ahead, eyes open, unblinking. Not at Frazier. Not at the ring. At something farther away, somewhere inside. He doesn't know what he's waiting for. That's what bothers him. The referee calls them to the center. Ali stands. The movement feels heavier than it should. Not painful, just resistant. Like pushing against water instead of air. He walks forward. Frazier meets him halfway. They stand inches apart now. The referee's voice fills the space between them, rules delivered from memory. Protect yourselves at all times. Obey my commands. Ali hears the words, but doesn't register them. For a brief moment, so brief it almost doesn't exist, he has the strange thought that this fight has already started somewhere else. Somewhere that isn't the ring. They touch gloves. Leather meets leather. A dull sound. No ceremony, no drama. As they turn back toward their corners, Ali feels it again. That hesitation, that sense that something is about to intrude. The bell hasn't rung yet. And yet, deep in his chest, Ali feels the unmistakable pressure of a moment that's already leaning forward, waiting to fall. The bell rings, a clean, sharp sound, metal against metal. The official beginning. Ali moves first, light on his feet, just as everyone expects. A small shuffle to the left, then right. His shoulders roll loose, exaggerated, almost theatrical. He drops his hands for a moment, inviting, mocking. The crowd reacts instantly. Cheers surge like a wave breaking against the ring. This is the Ali they came to see. Frazier doesn't bite. He advances slowly, steps measured, head tucked low. His gloves stay high, protecting his face. He cuts the ring instead of chasing, closing space inch by inch. No wasted motion, no wasted energy. Ali flicks a jab. It snaps out fast, clean, touching Frazier's forehead before pulling back. A point scored. Ali grins. Just a flash, just enough for the cameras. Another jab, then a feint, then a quick step back. Ali is dancing now. The rhythm feels familiar again, and for a few seconds the earlier unease fades. His body remembers what to do. His feet glide, his timing sharpens. He hears Dundee's voice in his head without needing to look. Keep it long, keep it light. Frazier keeps coming. He absorbs a jab on the gloves, another on the shoulder. He doesn't rush, doesn't react, just moves forward, closing distance, forcing Ali closer to the ropes than he wants to be. Ali pivots away easily, too easily. He laughs, loud enough for the front rows to hear. Too slow, Joe, he says, words spilling out naturally, effortlessly. The crowd loves it. But inside, something flickers. It's not fear, not pain, it's timing. Ali throws a combination, jab, jab, right hand. The punches land, but the rhythm is off by a fraction. A hair late, a hair wide. Nothing obvious, nothing disastrous. Just different. Frazier answers with a hook to the body. It thuds against Ali's ribs, heavy and compact. The sound is dull, almost wet. Ali exhales sharply, surprised more by the force than the placement. He's stronger than I remembered. Ali moves away, light on his toes again. He lifts his hands, waves them, taunts the crowd into louder noise. He's buying space, buying time. The round continues like this. Ali scores, Frazier advances. Ali dazzles, Frazier absorbs. From the outside, it looks like control. From the inside, Ali feels something tightening. His breathing is fine, his legs respond, his reflexes are there. But between intention and execution, there's resistance. Like a message traveling through a wire that's been bent just slightly out of shape. The bell ends the round. Ali returns to his corner, chest rising faster than usual. Angelo Dundee leans in, towel over Ali's shoulders, hands quick and efficient. You're good, Angelo says. He's loading up. Let him. Ali nods again. This time he believes it, mostly. The second round begins. Frazier presses harder now, shorter distance, less patience. His hooks dig into Ali's arms, his elbows, his sides. Each one lands with purpose, not wild, not desperate, methodical. Ali fires back, combinations flowing, but he's moving more than talking now. The showmanship fades slightly, replaced by focus. His eyes stay on Frazier's shoulders, his hips reading cues. Midway through the round, it happens. Ali throws a jab he's thrown 10,000 times, and it feels wrong. Not painful, not weak, just delayed. Frazier slips inside it and answers with a left hook that clips Ali's jaw. It's not a knockdown punch, but it snaps Ali's head to the side. For half a second, the garden goes quiet. Ali steps back instinctively, blinks once, resets his stance. The crowd roars again, louder now, unsure whether they've just witnessed something real or imagined. Ali raises his gloves, nods at Frazier. Inside, his thoughts race. That shouldn't have landed. The rest of the round passes without disaster, but the sensation lingers. A question without words, a doubt he refuses to name. When the bell rings again, Ali sits heavier on the stool. Angelo watches him closely. You okay? He asks, low. Ali opens his mouth to answer confidently. Instead, he pauses, just for a beat. Then, yeah. But the hesitation is back. And this time, it's growing. Round 3 starts slower, not in movement, but in feeling. Ali rises from the stool with control, but something has shifted. The ring feels smaller, the lights feel brighter, the noise sharper, more chaotic, less rhythmic than before. Frazier notices immediately. He steps in with confidence now. Not reckless, not rushed, certain. Ali jabs to reassert himself. The first lands clean. The second glances off the gloves. The third is anticipated. Frazier slips and digs another hook into Ali's side. Ali exhales hard. The body shots are adding up. He circles, trying to reset the distance, but Frazier stays with him, shoulder to chest. Forearm pressure. No space to breathe. No space to think. Ali clinches briefly. As the referee pulls them apart, Frazier leans in and says something. Low, fast, almost casual. Still dancing. No cameras catch it. Ali doesn't answer. He backs away, gloves high now, eyes locked. His mind flashes, not to strategy, not to combinations, but to memory. A voice, not Dundee's, not the crowd's. That sentence from before the fight returns uninvited. You don't remember everything. Ali shakes his head slightly, as if trying to physically dislodge the thought. He throws a flurry, fast, sharp, beautiful. Punches snap through the air, landing on arms, gloves, shoulders. The crowd erupts. It looks like a surge, like dominance. But Frazier doesn't retreat. He absorbs and steps forward again. Another hook, then another. One catches Ali high on the cheekbone, another thumps into his ribs. The rhythm is brutal, repetitive, undeniable. Ali feels irritation now, not fear, anger. He opens his mouth, ready to taunt, to reclaim the narrative, but nothing comes out. No poem, no insult, just breath. That silence unsettles him more than any punch. Midway through the round, Ali goes to the ropes. He doesn't mean to. His feet simply carry him there. The ropes flex against his back, familiar yet unwelcome. Frazier sees it and unloads. Short hooks, compact, vicious. The sound of leather on flesh echoes louder than the crowd. Ali covers up, absorbing, calculating. Move, slip, counter. His body responds, but slower than his mind. A hook sneaks through and snaps his head again. Not enough to drop him, enough to make the moment undeniable. Ali pushes off the ropes and circles out, jaw tight. The bell ends the round. Ali walks to the corner, chest heaving now. Sweat drips from his brow, stings his eyes. Dundee meets him halfway, towel already raised. "What's going on?" Angelo asks, sharper this time. Ali doesn't answer immediately. He stares straight ahead, eyes unfocused for a second, as if listening to something only he can hear. Then, "He knows me." Angelo freezes. "What?" Ali blinks, shakes his head again. "Nothing. He's stronger, that's all." But Angelo isn't convinced. Between rounds, Ali closes his eyes. And for a brief, dangerous moment, the ring disappears. He sees himself younger, faster, louder, certain. Then the image fractures, the bell rings again. Ali opens his eyes and realizes the fight is no longer just physical. By round 5, the fight has changed its language. It's no longer about speed versus power, it's about pressure. Ali tries to reclaim rhythm. He dances more deliberately now, less playful, more functional. His footwork is still beautiful, but it's working harder than before. Each step is a decision, not an instinct. Frazier stalks, no wasted motion, no flair, just forward. Ali throws combinations meant to discourage pursuit. 3 punches, 4, sometimes 5. They land, but they don't stop the advance. The crowd senses it. There's a subtle shift in noise, less celebration, more tension. Between exchanges, Ali hears his own breathing louder than usual, shorter, sharper. He clinches again. This time, Frazier doesn't speak. He doesn't need to. His presence says enough. As the referee separates them, Ali catches his reflection briefly in the plexiglass of a ringside camera housing. The angle distorts his face, sweat-streaked, jaw clenched, eyes narrowed. For a split second, he doesn't recognize himself. The thought hits harder than any punch. Since when does this feel unfamiliar? Another round bleeds into the next. Body shots accumulate, not dramatic, not cinematic, just persistent damage. Ali feels them when he exhales, when he pivots, when he bends slightly at the waist. By round 7, his corner notices. Angelo's voice cuts through the noise. "You gotta move after you punch, don't stay there." Ali nods. He always nods, but his mind drifts again, to that sentence. The one whispered before the fight, the one he still hasn't explained to himself. "You don't remember everything." What does that even mean? Ali prides himself on memory, on recall, on knowing exactly who he is at all times. The idea that something could be missing, something important, feels like an insult to his identity. Frazier lands another hook. Ali fires back immediately, almost angrily. A sharp right hand snaps Frazier's head back. The crowd roars. For a moment it feels like control has returned. Ali smiles, just briefly. But the smile fades when Frazier keeps coming. Round 8. Ali's legs still move, but the bounce is gone. His stance widens unconsciously. He's grounding himself now, not floating. That's when it happens. Mid-exchange, Ali hesitates. Not a stumble. A pause. Half a beat too long. Frazier's hook fills the space instantly. It crashes into Ali's jaw. Not the hardest shot of the fight, but the cleanest. Ali's vision flickers. No blackout, no fall, just a sudden narrowing, like the world pulls inward. He clinches hard this time, arms wrapping instinctively. The referee steps in quickly. Ali leans on the ropes as they separate. For the first time, doubt surfaces, not about winning, but about himself. Why did I freeze? The bell ends the round. Ali sits heavily on the stool now. Angelo wipes his face, presses ice against his cheek. You're okay, Angelo says, firm. You hear me? You're okay. Ali nods again, but his eyes don't fully focus. Inside, something is slipping, and he can feel it happening in real time. Round 9 begins, but something in Ali has already shifted. From the outside, it still looks like a fight. Punches, movement, noise. Inside Ali's head, it's quieter than it should be. Too quiet. He hears the bell, but it feels distant. Like it's coming from another room. His body responds automatically. Jab, step, slip. These motions have lived in him for decades, muscle memory doing what the mind no longer fully commands. Between exchanges, flashes intrude. Not memories, fragments. A locker room that isn't this one. A voice he can't place, the faint smell of liniment mixed with cigarette smoke. Someone standing too close, saying something softly, urgently. Ali blinks hard. Focus. Frazier presses him again, forcing him toward the ropes. The crowd grows louder, but Ali barely registers it. His awareness narrows to impact and breath. Hook to the body. Another. Ali exhales sharply, involuntarily. His guard drops for a split second, and in that split second, the sentence comes back. Not whispered now, clear, precise. You don't remember everything that happened to you. Ali's jaw tightens. That's not possible. Memory is power, control. A man who forgets himself is already losing. He throws a flurry, fast, angry, almost reckless. Punches land. Frazier absorbs them, keeps walking forward. Ali backs into the ropes again. The ropes vibrate against his spine. The referee steps closer, alert. Frazier leans in during the clinch, breath hot against Ali's cheek. Still no words, just pressure. But Ali doesn't hear Frazier. He hears that other voice, older, calmer, certain. You learned how to survive by not remembering. The bell ends the round. Ali stumbles, not enough to fall, but enough that his corner stiffens. On the stool, his chest heaves. Angelo talks, instructions, encouragement, warnings. Ali nods, but his eyes are fixed somewhere else. Past the ring, past the crowd. He feels something opening inside him that he's kept sealed for years. Not by choice, by necessity. Round 10, Ali stands slower now. The bounce is gone completely. His legs feel heavier, not tired exactly, but less responsive. Like there's a delay between intention and action. Frazier senses it immediately. He shortens his punches. Works inside. No wasted effort. A left hook lands clean. Ali's head snaps sideways. For a fraction of a second, the arena disappears. He's not in Madison Square Garden. He's younger, much younger, barely 20. Sitting alone somewhere quiet, a door closing. Someone saying, "This stays between us." Ali gasps and clinches instinctively, arms locking around Frazier like a lifeline. The referee pries them apart. Ali's eyes are wide now, not from fear of Frazier, but from something far deeper. What did I forget? And more frightening, why did I forget it? The bell rings again. Ali doesn't sit this time. He leans on the ropes, staring at the canvas, trying to hold on to the present. Because something in him is slipping backward. And it wants to be remembered. Ali had stopped counting time. Rounds no longer had numbers. The noise of the crowd had flattened into a single distant vibration, like sound heard underwater. Even pain had become abstract, something registered but no longer interpreted. The fight was still happening, but the real struggle had shifted somewhere else. He took a step back. Not consciously. His feet moved without instruction, carrying him closer to the ropes. Frazier mistook it for weakness and surged forward, left shoulder dipped, weight committed. Ali lifted his head, and in that instant, the sentence completed itself. You don't remember everything that happened to you, because if you did, you wouldn't be standing here. His breath caught. This time the voice had a shape. It wasn't coming from ringside, not from the press row, not from the crowd. It was older than this fight, older than the title, older than exile, older than Muhammad Ali. It was a memory finally finding its words. A room, dim, late afternoon light bleeding through cheap curtains. The smell of turpentine and cigarettes. His father sitting at a small table, hands stained with paint that never fully washed away. Not angry, not drunk, just tired. "You don't remember everything," his father had said quietly, almost to himself. "People think memory is mercy. It ain't. Forgetting is what keeps you standing." Ali had been too young to understand. Now he understood perfectly. Frazier's glove crashed against his guard, snapping his head sideways. The impact brought him back, but something had shifted. Not strength, not speed, perspective. Ali wasn't losing because he was weak. He was losing because this fight had forced him to remember something he had spent a lifetime outrunning. He planted his feet. For the first time in the fight, he stopped retreating. Not to attack, but to face it. Frazier threw another hook. Ali slipped it. Barely, threw a jab. It landed. Not hard, but clean. Frazier hesitated. Just a fraction. The crowd felt it before they understood it. Ali wasn't winning, but he was present, and presence for him had always been dangerous. He began talking, not loudly, not theatrically, just enough. "You still here, Joe?" Frazier didn't answer. He just kept coming. Round ended. Ali returned to his corner slower now, heavier, but steadier. Angelo leaned in, eyes searching. "There you are," Angelo said softly. "I was wondering when you'd come back." Ali nodded once. "I remembered something," he said. Angelo didn't ask what. The bell rang again, and Ali stood. Ali walked to the center of the ring without urgency, not chasing the moment, not fleeing it, accepting it. Frazier came forward as always, pressure embodied. The kind of fighter who believed that if he kept walking, the other man would eventually break. Ali raised his gloves. His legs were slower now. The bounce was gone. Everyone could see it, but something else had arrived in its place. Focus. Frazier jabbed, hooked to the body. Ali absorbed it, exhaled through the pain, answered with a short right hand that carried no speed, only intent. They traded, not beautifully, not cleverly, but honestly. Punches landed, sweat flew, blood followed. The crowd rose, sensing something primal, not a contest of skill, but endurance. This wasn't Ali's kind of fight. That was the point. Every instinct told him to move, to escape, but another voice, calm now, held him still. "You don't have to be who they expect tonight." A hook snapped Ali's head back. He steadied himself, stayed upright, stayed present. Between rounds, Angelo leaned close. "You don't gotta prove anything now," Angelo said. Ali shook his head. "This one's not for them." The bell rang again. Frazier pressed harder, throwing everything. Ali covered, rolled, absorbed. Pain came in waves, then passed. What stayed was defiance, not loud, quiet. Late in the round, Ali landed a short punch inside. Nothing powerful, just enough to surprise. The crowd gasped, not because it was devastating, because it was still happening. Ali walked back to his corner, slow, bruised, swollen. Angelo wiped the blood from his cheek. "You know what they're gonna say," Angelo said. Ali nodded. "I know. You okay with that?" Ali looked at the crowd, then back at Angelo. "I've been okay with worse." The decision was unanimous. Joe Frazier. Ali didn't argue. He barely reacted. He sat on the stool, breathing deep, body aching, face unrecognizable. The crowd roared. History was being written, but not the version Ali once imagined. Later, alone in the locker room, the noise faded. The cameras left. The voices disappeared. Ali sat in front of the mirror, bruised, beaten, still standing. He thought about the voice. Your father would know. Now he understood. His father would have known fear, doubt, the feeling of being replaced, forgotten, left behind. But his father never learned how to stand back up. Ali did. He lost the fight, but he didn't lose himself. And that night, quietly, without cameras or applause, Muhammad Ali won something else. The war inside his own head.